Hello guys, it's me, Butterfly Spirit 314. Let me go ahead and turn my sound up here. Alrighty, let me close this thing here. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna talk about my seventh pole dance class that I took today. So for those of you who don't know, I'm in the process of working on taking introduction to pole dance classes, and soon I will be graduating to level one of pole dance, which will be the first step of the beginner level. Most people, when they think of introductory classes, they usually will think that that means that basically that I would be at the beginner level because I'm at intro. But that's not the case at the studio or the academy that I'm taking pole dance classes at. So unfortunately, that's not the case. Okay. So So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my experience. In order to get to level one, I have to take 8 classes in order to qualify for level one. What I did ended up doing was I was on the wait list for another introduction to pole class, and so I already have one more class to take, which is going to be on October 8th, which is Wednesday. That'll be my 8th class. And that, of course, is going to be my class where I graduate to level one. However, I ended up signing up. I was on a wait list for another class that's going to be on October 12th. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a ninth class after that. And the reason is because they say you have to take 8+ classes. And when I talked to my instructor at the end of my class today, she said all you have to do is take 8, but I'm already signed up for another one. So I'm just like, I'll just take that other one. So, needless to say, I'll be a level one very, very soon. So I say basically on October 8th, I'll be a level one. So I would have reached my goal, but I'm going to take one more intro class. Now, my teacher, she did say, she was like, well, you can continue to take introduction to pole classes. That's what she was telling me. But she was like, just as long as you're not taking classes like intro classes for the next, 6 months, you can still continue to take intro classes if you want to. She just said that, they let people stay in the introduction to pole class if they want to up until level 3. And then after that, intro is basically reserved for only intro students after that, because they don't want a level 3 in an intro class, because a level 3 person, of course, is going to be doing a lot more advanced stuff than what they want other intro students to see. My oven just went off. So anyway, so I'm going to talk about what I did in class today, because I think it's important to kind of go over that. So I'll give you guys a rundown of the things that we did in pole, the pole moves that I practiced. So we started off with what's called body waves. Then we moved on to step arounds. Then we moved on to pirouettes. Then after doing that, we did back bends. And then after that, we did what's called a pole sit. So I did post myself doing a pole sit, on my YouTube channel, Butterfly Spirit 314. So I did show like a short of myself doing a pole sit and stuff. Somebody really liked the pole sit that I did and stuff. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about what each of these things actually are. So a body wave is pretty much a motion where you're going back and forth towards the pole, pretty much like in a more slinky kind of motion, kind of like a snake. Okay. So that kind of describes it in a way. Most people think it looks very sexy and stuff. Various parts of the body have to touch the pole, of course, in order to make a slinky sort of motion like a snake and stuff. I just think move like a snake when I do body waves. So I do still feel awkward when I do body waves and stuff, but I was told if you don't feel awkward doing it, you're not doing it right. So I was told my body waves are great by my teacher, which is cool, which is great and stuff, but I still feel awkward about it. But I'm still an intro student anyway. So I don't have to worry too much about that. Level 1, I will master, perfect, and do all that other stuff at level 1. So then we did what's called step around. So I posted a short of myself doing a step around. I think the last time I posted and stuff. I've been told my step arounds are great, but I still feel awkward doing them. I think people say I do them great, but I'm just like, I still just don't feel like I'm doing them the way that I want to do them. But I'm being told I'm doing them. So I guess I'm doing it right. So a step around is basically stepping around the pole. And it looks pretty grand when I do a step around because I'm stepping around the pole. It kind of looks a little bit more dramatic when I'm doing it. But I'm stepping around the pole and things. And I think it's pretty cool when I do it, I guess. But I still feel like I want to perfect it type of thing. But yeah. So anyway, so we did a step around, and as far as pole goes, we do pole moves based off of like the inside and outside of our bodies. That's kind of what we do. So when I do a step around, like the pole will be like right here, okay? And basically, if I have my hand up like right here, the video is transposed. It's kind of weird. So anyway, if I do a step around, the pole's right here. I have my hands up. I have to reach across here. Then I'll step forward using like my right leg essentially. And I'll step, and then I will basically go around the pole using my outside leg. And doing it, it's fine because I'm used to doing them, but I just don't feel like, I don't feel like I'm doing it the way I'm like I'd want to. But that's okay. So, in a step around, usually we start off doing a step around using we usually start off doing a step around and we'll use 2 hands. We'll use the top hand and bottom hand across. We'll do that. But in today's class, I did the classic step around, and then I did a step around with just only one arm up and then stepping around the pole. What I will do is I'll post a video of the things that I was doing in class, everything except kind of the body waves, because it makes more sense when you see a visual of what I'm doing rather than me like talking about it, because it's really like odd and stuff. In fact, I haven't even watched the videos of myself. I kind of watched a snippet of myself when I was in class recording myself, but I'll post that so it makes more sense, so you guys can kind of understand what I'm like talking about. So I did a step around classic, and then I did a 1-arm step around. And I asked my teacher, I said, how do I do that? Because I had never done it, but I ended up doing it. So, and I think I guess I did right, because she said, you did, it's good. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, after we did the 2-arm step around and then the 1-arm step around, we did that. I've done a kind of a low flow sort of step around, which is like closer to the ground sort of step around. I've done that before, but that was in another class. But either way, you know, I think my step arounds, I mean, they're okay. I've been told they're good, but yeah. But one day I'll be fine with it. So, but yeah, step arounds, I'm kind of used to them. 1-arm step around, I got to get used to. But hell, I landed it anyway. I did good. So after doing the step arounds, the next thing that we practiced in class was we practiced pirouettes. So a pirouette, I just call them pole twirls. Basically, we twirl and stuff. That's pretty much what we do, is we do a pirouette. Pirouettes typically are mentioned in ballet, but a pirouette in ballet is different than a pirouette in pole dancing, so it's a little bit different. But a pirouette is basically a pole twirl. It's basically, I'm basically twirling in place. And it looks really cute and stuff like that. But a pirouette is kind of a transition sort of move between like pole moves and stuff. But I think they're okay. I like pirouettes, but I want to be smoother and I feel a little awkward doing a pirouette. But I think that as long as I'm following the way that my teacher does it, I'm good, and stuff. So I think that that's good. After doing the pirouette, after we practiced that, then we moved on to the back bend. So we did a back bend, practice doing that on the pole. And a back bend, I mean, I did that before, but we did basically pole back bends, and we did them basically all the way down to the floor essentially, and then we came back up type of thing. So we did that. I've did that before, so my body's kind of used to it. And things, it's kind of like pole dancing. It's like we're training our bodies and stuff like that, to do different movements and stuff like that. I will say before we do any pole dance moves, we always warm up before we do them, because if you don't warm up your body, you are more prone to injury. And that's what people do not know, is that before you do any type of dance, it's a good idea to definitely make sure you warm up, because if you do not warm up, you can run the risk of injuring yourself, which could be bad. So we always warm up for like 10 to 15 minutes before we do anything on the pole. We warm up ourselves first, then we warm up the pole. That's basically standard. So after we did the back bends, I'll post a short of myself doing that, like after I get done with this live, I guess. Either today or tomorrow. It kind of just depends on how I feel and stuff, but I'll post it. So let's see. After we did the pole back bends, sinking down to the floor. After we did that, then we did. Damn, what else did we do? Pole back bends. Let me see. Let me see what else we did. I sure as hell know we did some damn thing. I believe that's where we did the pole sit. The pole sit, I would say, I really like pole sits, but the thing about a pole sit, I will say, is that they can be painful to do, because we're basically using our legs to kind of hold us up. So it kind of looks like we're on the pole and we're kind of sitting up grand. It's kind of like we're doing kind of a pose that kind of looks kind of like a pin-up type of thing. It kind of looks something like that on the pole. And I do like doing a a pin-up move is different. I've done a pin-up move on a pole, which is different than a pole sit. But I'm getting better at a pole sit. And because I did it last class and I know how to do it better, I am getting more comfortable with the pain that comes with it. What people don't know about pole dancing is that we do have to get used to the pain of doing a pole sit. And that's why when I posted my short of myself doing a pole sit last time, my teacher said, she is kind of joking, but she said, smile through the pain. And the thing about pole dancing is that our bodies do have to get used to the pain that we'll get from doing a pole sit. My teacher actually told me, she said that in order to get your body used to a pole sit, you have to do at least 200 pole sits before you're going to be comfortable, where your body's not going to recognize the pain from doing a pole sit. So, and the pain is going to be between the legs and basically the thighs. That's where the pain is going to be. Okay. And with a pole sit, we're basically up close and personal with the pole. very up close and personal, meaning that basically, lady parts are close to the pole. Okay. So it's, yeah, up close and personal. Not far away, work up close. And also what makes it kind of painful is that we are tilted, and our like one hip is higher than the other in order to hold ourselves up. If we're not tilted like one hip higher than the other, we will slide down the pole. Okay. And the fact is the pole will be digging into one of those thighs essentially, and that's what's happening. And so that's why my teacher was saying, and there was two new girls in my class today. There's a lot of new faces, but there were these two new girls. It was their first class, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is painful." And yeah, it is. It is. That's why my teacher said, "Smile through the pain," because that's what pole is. We have to get used to, the pain of doing those moves. I mean, it's not every move is painful, but a pole sit is. But we have to get our bodies used to doing that. And that's why people get what are called pole kisses. Pole kisses are basically bruising from pole movements, which is something people don't know. And I will say, I haven't really noticed bruises, but I will say that after doing the pole sit last time, it took my body probably, I felt the pain from the pole sit. I would say like the soreness after doing the pole sit. I felt that for a couple of hours after, like when I was going shopping after, I still felt like the soreness from doing a pole sit and stuff. I did a pole sit today. My body is getting more used to it to the point where it's not hurting me as much as it was like when I was doing it at another studio before. It was definitely kicking my ass with the pain. But I'm getting better with it now, and stuff. But I would say that overall, I think the class was pretty good. I will say that this class was interesting because my teacher, she wanted to know everybody's zodiac sign. And I was like, well, why do you want to know that? But she just kind of asked. My teacher, she was actually a Scorpio, and I did not know she was a Scorpio. For those of you who don't know, Scorpios, they typically, they're pretty deep, and they can kind of, feel energy and all that stuff. And sometimes they want to know more about people and things. So it's just fine. I mean, hey, every zodiac sign has their uniqueness. But she wanted to know more. And I was like, okay, sure, So when it got to me, like, I don't know, like I kind of feel like me and her kind of click a little bit. And I guess it's because I'm a Taurus and she's a Scorpio. So there's kind of like this, like, we kind of get each other type of thing. I'm like, I don't know, like when I come across a Scorpio, it's kind of like that where I kind of know the person's a Scorpio, kind of link up, I kind of get them, in a way that other signs probably wouldn't. Some people are probably scared of Scorpios, but for me, I'm not as scared. My dad was a Scorpio. So actually, there's a lot of people in my family that are Scorpios. So I kind of know how to move. My sister-in-law is actually a Scorpio. So I kind of know how to move when it comes to Scorpios. But I find them intriguing, though. I think that's what makes them mysterious, but I think it's cool. So I will say that I did have to take my videos at a different angle than I usually do. But I think it worked out okay, and stuff, because I didn't want too much sun coming through the windows and stuff like that. But I think by and large, it was pretty good. There was a couple of songs during class I really liked. There's one song I'm trying to find for my class and stuff or whatever. I will say when I was warming up, I will say my body was totally out of its element because I have not been doing yoga at all. So when I was doing stuff, my body was like a little lazy when I was doing the moves. My body was like not prepared. But after I got warmed up, my body was like, okay, we're going to do this shit. Let's go. Let's take off and do this shit. When I do go to my intro classes, depending on the teacher I have, they do different types of warm ups. So we do different types of exercises. And I will say, I do love warming up in class because I don't know what it is, but it's very meditative for me when I'm in my pole dance class. Like, not just pole dance, but chair dance. If it's a dance class, I tend to be like more comfortable and I kind of check out from other shit that's going on, outside or whatever and stuff. And I just kind of get into this zone of like the zen and stuff when I'm in pole dancing, like, or chair dancing or whatever dance class, because I feel like I'm more so in my body and I'm more so able to just kind of chill and relax. And that's what I love about pole dancing is, and I also get to appreciate my body for what it does and my genetics that I have, because I didn't get this genetics from nowhere. I got it from my parents, and my parents actually were athletic. And so some of that kind of comes through when I'm in pole dancing, which is great. So I will say that I'm still planning to go to a pole dance boot camp class. So that's basically where we'll be doing a lot of conditioning during class to get our muscles ready to do more advanced stuff, like working towards inverting, which means we're able to do moves that are upside down and things like that. So I am planning to strengthen my muscles, especially because I need to strengthen my knees more, my legs more, so I can climb better, because I'm still working on climbing. There are some people in my class, like, they know how to climb. We did not work on climbing today in this class. Last class I was in, we did work on it. But I was told by my teacher today that in level 1, they're going to work on a lot more climbing. And when it comes to pole dance, there's different types of climbing. So there's not just one type, there's 10 different types of, climbing or whatever. And things. And also there's different types of grips that we'll use to do different types of pole dance moves and stuff. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's really a journey. There's some people who will try out a pole dance class and they may not come back because they may feel like it's not for them. For me, I feel like it's for me, definitely. And I like that I'm getting a chance to progress and see myself do more stuff. I will say I am ready for level 1. Now this week on October 8th, I have another introduction to pole class. That's going to be my 8th class. And then also this week, I'm going to be taking an introduction to floor work class. So floor work is pretty much going to be where I learn how to move on the floor in a more, I guess you could say, more sexy or sultry way, But I have to know floor work in order to be able to, when I get down to the floor from the pole, then I have to be able to do things on the floor to, kind of balance out my pole dance moves. So I cannot wait for my intro to floor work class. I'm excited about that. So it's going to be with an instructor I've never had before, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm scheduled for 2 introduction to floor work classes and stuff. When I saw that class, I kind of jumped on it and booked 2 of them. So I'm very excited about that. And I will say that I'm really excited to see where I'm going to progress at and stuff, because I can't wait to see what I do and stuff and everything. I will say, before my last class, I saw a girl that was I think she was a level 3. And she inverted on the pole. Basically, she went upside down on the pole. And then she was doing this movement. She was so graceful and everything like that. And it was amazing. I was blown away by her level that she was at, where she could do what she was doing on the pole. And so, like, eventually I'll get to level 3, but I'm not there yet. But I will say, when I see the people in the higher levels doing stuff like an Aisha, or doing stuff like a layback. There's a Russian layback, then there's another kind of layback. When I see people doing like the more advanced shit, I'm just like, whoa. And I'm so much in awe when I see people doing stuff. I'm like, man, I cannot wait to get there. Like, I want to get to where they're at. Now, there are people who actually can get up in levels in pole dancing to the point where they can walk on the ceiling. I would like to get there where I can literally walk on the ceiling. So I'm aiming for the big shit, but hell, go big, go home. So I'm aiming for that. When I'm able to um, get to the point where I can walk on the ceiling, then I think I'm gonna be like, whoa. But that's gonna be more at the more elite level. So that's pretty much where people are probably they may be a level 7, 8, or 9 when they can do that. But hey, I'm enjoying my journey right now. I'm enjoying the fact of I'm enjoying the journey. And the thing is that at the other studio that I was at, I kind of feel like at that studio, I feel like they didn't have those like levels where I can kind of walk up like steps the way I wanted to. And so, I mean, I haven't been back to the other studio. I am going to go back to the other studio. Definitely going to go back. But I think that I saw girls at the studio and I feel like they were kind of rushing to do stuff. But for me in pole dancing, I want to focus on the technique of doing a pole dance move and doing it with the correct technique. That's what I want to do. I just don't just want to rush and jump and do something. I want to do it with the correct technique so I look more graceful and I'm able to demonstrate like my strength and grace and different things like that. That's what I'm wanting to do. And so there are people who rush through pole dancing, and I can tell you, I love taking pole dancing. I love taking my pole dancing classes so much that after the class, I want to take another one. But the thing is, though, is that it's about progressively taking the classes and stuff, and just gradually going along to get to those higher levels. A lot of the girls that I see doing like more advanced stuff on the pole, a lot of them have been training for maybe years, a couple of years or something before they're even able to do stuff. So I think it's amazing when I see girls doing stuff on the pole and they're advanced. I just think it's so cool. And I'm like, man, one day I want to be able to do that. And I am going to be able to do it. And it's just going to take me the time to get there, but I'm going to get there. And then, there will be an intro girl that'll be looking at the stuff I'm doing and be like, man, I wish I could do the stuff you're doing. So, I hope to be able to inspire somebody else too, to be able to continue with it. Because there are people who do not continue with pole dancing. Some people don't. They'll try it, they don't like it, or they try it and they feel like, they're not sure and they drop out. But I'm just continuing with it, and trying to focus myself more in things and stuff and stuff. So my instructor, she has been doing pole dancing for 9 years. So the things that she can do, it's amazing. It's amazing. When we did our freestyle today, which I did do a recording of myself doing freestyle. Freestyle is basically where we dance to music for about a minute, and we do whatever pole dance moves that we've learned during the class or pole dance moves that we may have learned prior, something like that. And my teacher was doing some cool shit, but I was doing my pole dance moves, so I couldn't fully see her doing stuff. But yeah, hell, once you get to be doing like pole dancing for 9 years, like you can do stuff. My other pole teacher that I've had, she has been doing pole dancing for 12 years. And the longer somebody has been doing pole dancing, I would say the more graceful and effortless that their pole dancing looks, because their bodies are trained to it. It's like being a ballerina, like you're like, how does a ballerina do that? Well, in order to be a ballerina, I mean, it takes people a while to get to be a ballerina, right? Well, the longer somebody is in pole dancing and they have a lot of years under their belt, they're going to look more effortless and flawless at the pole dancing moves that they do. Okay. So for my teacher, when I was seeing her do the stuff, like do the things that she was doing, it was because her body has been trained to do it. Eventually my body will be trained to do cool shit eventually, and I'll be able to do stuff, and people are going to be like, whoa, how'd you do that? And it's going to be because I've trained to do that and stuff. And I think pole dancing is a really fun way for me to work out, because like I was talking to my teacher after class, and I was like, I really like pole dancing because it's a way that I can work out, where I can work out with other people, and I'm not just in the gym just being like, I'm not just doing anything that's like boring. Pole dancing, we're dancing to music, it's fun, we're trying stuff, and it's cool. And I really feel like it's like I get to be a kid in class, and do stuff. And like, it's just fun, it's like playing essentially. That's what it's like. It's just having fun, playing and stuff, dancing and stuff. And it's cool. And I like it. And I will say it definitely, boosts my confidence, of course. And it also boosts my feminine energy and stuff. And it just basically like, it gives me more of that, like, I don't know what it is, but I think after doing pole dancing classes, I've kind of had this happen to me, but after doing pole dancing classes, like, I don't know, like I start to get like looks from like, I don't know what it is, but I'll start getting these looks from like guys or something like that. And it's because like the feminine energy that I'm radiating and stuff. And that's why like I'm getting these looks from like guys and stuff, because it's the energy. It's not necessarily that, I'm prompting people to look at me, but it's more just because of that feminine energy, that flow that I have like after class and stuff and everything. And I'm okay with it, fine with it, if you will. But I think it's all right though. But I just do pole dancing because it's fun. It's something to do, something to keep me active, and I like enjoying the class, and I cannot, it's like there's so much to learn in pole dancing. Like I love that there's always something to learn. That's what I love about it, is there's always something to learn, and there's so many variations to how to do different things. And there's so many different styles of pole dancing and stuff. I am hoping that maybe I might try out, I'm thinking about maybe trying out burlesque. I don't know, but I'm thinking about it. I might like to try out burlesque, I think, because it might be kind of cool, but they don't have any classes for that yet. I do know people that, I do know somebody who is a burlesque dancer that's a instructor at the other studio, and stuff. So there are teachers that I know of that have basically they've danced at shows and stuff like that. One girl I know, she does burlesque performances and stuff at a place in my area and stuff. But she's pretty good. I think she recently competed in a bodybuilding competition. So she recently did that, a natural bodybuilding competition. But yeah, she does. And I think overall, like, my teachers, they have done like shows and stuff like that. Like at the pole, they had a big pole event I was trying to go to last weekend, but it was sold out. But there were people who did do performances at the big pole event and stuff, and things. So there were some students who did different, like did their own kind of act at, pole dance act or whatever, at the studio and stuff like that. There was a lot of people. I wish I would have gotten a chance to go, but it was sold out by the time I decided to go. So it didn't work out well. But I think eventually I will probably find myself doing a show, like a act at a pole dance show. So I probably am going to end up doing one, especially when I get more confident, then I will end up doing that, and stuff. I will say with pole dancing, it is cool. It is nice and stuff. I will will say that, pole dancing, it's cool, it's awesome, it's cool. And I love my classes. One thing I'm sad about is they don't have the intro to heels class anymore. Um, for right now, but I'll have to find out when they're going to have that again. But I think by the time I go back into it, I'm going to be more like, I'm going to be better in that class because of my whole class, like my intro classes and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that when it comes back around. So we'll see, but I'll have to ask them. But I'm looking forward to my level 1 classes and what I'm going to be able to do, and I cannot wait to get better and better and better at pole and things. But yeah, I think I could do I think I'll be fine with doing like doing a pole dance act at a show or something like that. I think eventually I will do one, but not yet. Not yet. I'm not there yet. Uh-uh. But I will get there and stuff at some point, but not now. I'm still an intro student and I'm still doing a lot of thinking. But in this class that I had, I didn't do as much thinking. Usually I'm like I overthink, but this class I kind of like chilled and was like just kind of did stuff and everything. And I did take feedback from other students and stuff like that too, and we're pretty much all like learning together when we do stuff. So I think it's pretty fun and pretty cool, overall when we get a chance to do like pole dancing and stuff. So I am going to post myself like the videos that I did. First, I'm going to watch them and see which ones I want to post. And then I'll post them. But surprisingly, a lot of pole dance moves can be done in like less than a minute. A lot of them can. And it's really all about the transition between the moves that makes the difference. But anyway, I've been talking for like 37 minutes. I am hungry. So I definitely want to like chill. I will say, I'm trying to think if there's anything else in class that kind of happened. I did notice a couple of the new girls were kind of like really close up to the pole. So like my teacher was demonstrating the pole moves, and I feel like these two girls kind of didn't have a sense of space because they were like so close up next to the teacher when she was doing pole moves and stuff. And I was just like, okay, don't focus on them being so close. Just focus on the technique and the moves that the teacher is doing. And that's what I had to keep telling myself. So that's what I was focused on. But yeah, I found it to be a little odd. But there are some people who come to the pole dance class and they'll come with a friend of theirs, and stuff, or a couple of their friends, and they'll come and stuff like that and try out pole. Sometimes people are scared to try by themselves, so they come with a friend, which is fine. But I think that like I feel like pole is a journey, a singular journey that you do. That's kind of what I feel like about pole. It's like a journey that you do, and you do it in your own way and stuff like that. And it's amazing to see the things that your body can do and stuff like that. It's just super amazing. And I'm excited about it too. I cannot wait to see what other stuff I'll be doing and stuff. But I'll have to see what we do. Um, I think we did pole floats too. Yeah, I did a pole float. My teacher kept telling me, don't jump into it. So I kind of jumped into it anyway. I'm like, but I like to jump. She's like, no jumping. I'm like, okay. It's kind of one of those things, but I like to jump into my pole floats. Like, I think they're fun, but I think it's because she doesn't want us to like exert too much energy when we're doing it, so we can do it with the correct form. So I guess that's pretty much what she's wanting us to do. But my next class, I won't see her, but I'll see another instructor I've already had. That instructor that I'm going to be attending a class with has been doing pole dancing for 12 years, and stuff. And then I'll see the instructor I saw today. I'll see her on the 12th, and I'll see her again, and then I'll be graduating to level 1. I've been asking myself, like, what am I going to do for my graduation for pole? But I don't know. I think I'll do something special for myself, but I don't quite know what I'm going to do. Look at me. I'm over finger pressing this doggone piece of fabric. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Anyway, so that's pretty much everything that was covered in class today that we did. But by and large, if you guys are coming in right now, I talked about a whole bunch. So if you want to watch it from the beginning, you can. But yeah, that was my pole class today. But I'm looking forward to my 8th class and things and stuff. So I cannot wait to see what happens then and stuff. But I think the challenge is just going to be getting into a level 1 class for me because pretty much it is, I think it's pretty booked up, but I'm on a wait list for a couple of those level 1 classes. So we'll see when I get into one, but I'm going to see how it goes. I'll see. But once I get to level 1, you know, I'll tell you guys because it'll be in the title of the video. It'll be like level 1 first class experience or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to post my shorts of myself. Maybe not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. It just depends on when I want to post them. But I'll see. But anyway, I will post those shorts and after I watch them to see how I like them and things, and then I'll post them. And then you guys get a chance to see what I was doing in class and all that stuff and everything. I will say I do love the room that we get a chance to practice in. But when we do pole dancing, I will say I did have to share the pole with 2 other people this time around. Usually I only have to share the pole with 1 person, but this time I have to share it with 2 people. And I have to say I'm fine with it. I'm kind of used to it. At the other studio where I take classes at, I get my own pole that I get to use the whole hour. But today I had to share the pole with 2 other people and stuff, which was fine, you know. And I think it was okay, you know, and we were all cool about it. Other people had to share the pole as well because there's like 4 poles that are in the studio, like in the front portion of it. So we all had to share because it was like 10 people and we're sharing like 4 poles. So it's a process. But the good thing is it's good sportsmanship. It's teamwork, you know. That's what they say, isn't teamwork to make the dream work or something like that. But yeah, it's good sportsmanship. So that's also what we're learning too, you know. Yeah, normally I love to have my own pole and all that stuff, and I love to just keep the pole to myself. But you know, learning good sportsmanship with sharing the pole is a good thing. So there's a lot of good things that come with pole dancing. Like there's a lot that comes with it and everything, and that's really cool. So I like it. So yep, that's pretty much it for now because I'm kind of tired and hungry and all that. But thank you all for joining me tonight. I appreciate everybody who popped in. I appreciate every one of you. And I will fill you guys in on my next experience. But outside of right now, I'm probably going to be posting my YouTube shorts whenever, like the shorts on my phone, whenever I get around to it. Ooh, look at that. I got like stuff on my phone. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait. But anyway, I will be posting those shorts and stuff. In fact, I'll probably post them tonight so you guys can see them and stuff. And it really just depends on how long it takes YouTube to upload those shorts. But we will see. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching me tonight. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye.